everyone, it's Miss Champagne. All right, let's continue with the next video. Now, in this video, I'm going to speak about specifically how to get a dispatch English teaching job in Japan. In my previous video, I talked about getting a classroom English teaching job, which is completely different, but I'll put a different link for that video in the description box below. Okay, anyways. First, let me describe what a dispatch English teacher is. So, story time. So when I first came to Japan, I was a dispatch English teacher, which means that I was working at a company. However, that company would send me to schools to teach English at different schools. So that means that my employer was my company, but not the school that I was working at, which makes things very, very confusing in Japan. I mean, I get it now because I've been here like 11 years. But at the time, I didn't really get it. I was just like, okay. Because like sometimes I would be at school and they would say like, oh, well, the teachers can't ask you to do something because you don't work for them. And it was just really weird. I was like, yeah, but I'm here with them. Do you really want me to call you so that they can ask me to do something? It was just weird. But anyways, nonetheless. So the first job I got, I was a dispatch English teacher or an ALT, assistant language teacher. So an ALT or a dispatch teacher, there's two types. One is when you work for a company and they send you to different places. One is when you work for a cram school. Now, a cram school, that's a whole nother beast. A cram school is an after-school school. So in the U.S., we would say like a Saturday school or summer school. Now, for us, I'm from Ohio. I'm from Akron. Shout out to Akron. When you went to summer school, we would be like, oh, what, are you stupid? You can't, focus during the year. You're actually paying to go to school. Like, we just thought that was really weird. But in Japan, it's completely opposite. You need to go to school so that you can get better grades in school, if that makes sense. Anyways. All right, so because in Japan, and I'm getting this a little bit off topic, because in Japan, everything is uniform. I mean, like uniform. So all the children get the same education. However, there's no gifted education. So what happened is that a second industry was created, and that's what we call the private English, or not private English, but private learning education system. That's what I call it. I call it the second system. So that means that cram schools, jukus, which means cram schools, private tutors, those are available for parents who can afford to send those kids to those schools. Okay, so number one, once again, you can work as an English teacher at a dispatch company where they'll send you to different places to teach. Or number two, you can work for a cram school, which is an after-school school. And that means you teach English it could be to children, it could be to adults, it could be to professional. It really just kind of, it's like a rainbow of people if you're teaching at a cram school. Now, the thing about teaching at a cram school, I actually like teaching at cram schools. Cram schools are pretty cool because usually you have your own classroom and you kind of have more like authority, because I don't really think the manager really cares that much what you're doing as long as the kids are happy and you're teaching and all that good stuff. So that's good. Now, when you're teaching in the school, like it's like all eyes on you. And another thing is that you're team teaching, because you're not really a full-time teacher if you're working as an ALT. It's like you're part-time even though you're there all day, but you're not working all day, if that makes any sense. So you like have these breaks, but it's just a loophole so they don't have to pay you salary. I mean, they pay you a salary, but they get out of paying you a bonus that you get twice a year, and they also get out of paying like pension and some other stuff. So anyways, I don't work there anymore, but anyways, so those are the two ways that you can become a dispatch teacher. Okay, so once again, and guys, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, it's just a lot. So once again, you can work for a dispatch company, or number two, you can work for a cram school. Now, the way to find these schools, I think in this video, in terms of getting a job at either one of these companies, you need to do the indirect approach, which means that you search for jobs that are publicly displayed. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't know which school to look for in Japanese and the place and the area and this and that, then it's way too many schools. There's literally thousands of schools, of after-school schools, cram schools in this country, and dispatch companies as well. So if I were you, I would go to Gaijin Pot, I would go to Days English Cafe, and Ohio Sensei. Those are updated daily. The thing I love about Gaijin Pot is that it's its own platform, and everything is like built into the platform. So you have your CV and you have your cover letter, and you can have different versions of each. So when you want to apply for a job, and also employers can message you as well, you just send off the correct CV, you send off the correct cover letter, and it's really, really cool. Now the other two sites, they're also good too, but you have to go like to your personal email address and email their potential employer from that. So I wouldn't say that's a drawback, but that's just a little less convenient than Gaijin Pot. I love Gaijin Pot so much. Okay. All right. So once you apply for the jobs, just make sure you keep track of it. You want to use a tracking sheet, and I'll put that in the description as well. And then when you use your tracking sheet, you're really able to monitor like exactly what job, where, which way, how, all this good stuff. And you'll be able to see patterns in the market, which is what you need, especially when you start interviewing. Now, once you send off your CV and stuff, employers should start contacting you, and then you would need to set up interviews. When you interview, just make sure you're very, very professional. Make sure everything is in order. And then after you get the interview, you should then get a job offer. If you're living outside of Japan, and I'm assuming most people are living outside of Japan, they'll send you some documents. You take that to the Japanese embassy or the consulate, and then you get your working visa either there or upon arrival when you come to Narita or Haneda or whatever airport you're coming to. And then you can start work after that. Okay, guys, so I hope that helped you out a lot. And I know I was very, very specific and I was speaking, repeating myself, but it is quite overwhelming. That's why I'm doing like 3 different videos about the different types of English teaching jobs you can get here, because it is a lot. But anyways, guys, please contact me when you have questions, and please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'll see you again. Bye.